Welcome to Aging Under the North Star, your trusted podcast for aging, caregiving, and senior living. I'm your host, Veronica, and today we're going to talk about what to expect once you move into a senior living community, either assisted living or memory care. When you first move into a senior living community, it can feel rather overwhelming. You're moving from maybe a large apartment or home, and you're downsizing into a smaller community environment. You're no longer going to be making meals on your own or popping in, meals into your microwave. You're going to go down into a community environment in the dining room. Large assisted living facilities have dining room, restaurant-style dining centers where you come in and you're going to see all the other residents. The purpose of that is that so you can engage and also make new friends, and that the care staff can also keep an eye on you and make sure that you're getting the proper nutrients that you need. A lot of individuals will call and tell me, my mom will not leave her room. There's no way she's going to go into a dining room with all strangers. Or why are they charging $5 to $10 per time my mother decides to order room service? And that's the reason why. They want you to be in the community environment and be in that visual area with those so that they can keep an eye on you. You get restaurant style dining. Usually you get a menu with menu item options. So you'll get an all day, everyday menu where you can choose from 4 to 5 options, maybe more. And then you have the daily special, and that's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You get snacks in between as well. And when I talk about this, I'm talking about from a large facility point of view. Now, when it comes to memory care, there are dining rooms as well. But first, we're going to focus on assisted living. So when you first move into assisted living, prior to move-in, you're working with the sales and marketing director. They're the ones that are showing you around. They're showing you the offerings. They're getting you lured into the community so that you're going to want to live there. And then you make a choice to move in. Once that step is done, you typically have other individuals that are going to help you when you're moving into the assisted living, like the executive director. The executive director is the one that manages the entire environment, the entire community. They're in charge, and they're the person that you go to if you have any issues. But there's also a director of nursing. The director of nursing will help with your care plan, will help with the 1823 form, which is a required form here in the state of Florida. They'll follow what's on that list to help with your activities of daily living, whether it's bathing, dressing, grooming, toileting, medications, things like that. You're also going to work with your care staff, the caregivers that are going to assist with your activities of daily living. You're going to work with the activities director and the activities team because you're going to want to participate in the many things that they offer. The point of their job is to make sure that you're involved in having an exciting time, fun time with yourself and residents. Paint again, gardening, transportation to activities, anything that you want, they will make it happen. Then you also have the wait staff that work in the restaurant style dining room that are going to be there to help you and serve you. They're going to know what your favorite drinks are, how you like your coffee. What's most important for families and residents to know is, just like anything else, it takes time to get used to your new environment. So for someone without a memory impairment such as Alzheimer's and dementia, it typically takes about 7 to 9 days for someone to get used to a new environment. But let's be honest, you're leaving your memories behind, so it could take a little bit longer, like 30, 60, sometimes 90 days to get used to your new apartment and your new community. It takes a while to make new friends, but know that you're not the only one there. There's a lot of friends to be made, and they've all been in a similar situation where, your midlife has passed, but now you're going towards your golden years. Now, another thing to keep in mind, families always call me the first month that they've moved into a facility and they say, oh, mom or dad hates it. That's very common. Only a handful of times have I had someone say they wanted to move to assisted living. Normally, they choose this because they can no longer keep their independence and they need more oversight. So they're either themselves or their loved ones select a facility on their behalf, or a community is what they like to be known as. The maintenance director will help you with anything that, like hanging pictures. You want to bring family heirlooms, memories, pictures, things from home that you can fit into your new apartment, your new home away from home. they'll be there to help you with that. There is such a huge team, but just know that as you're getting acclimated into your new environment, there's someone there for you to help you along the way. Now, when it comes to memory care, this is going to be a little bit different. You will have the executive director, you will have the maintenance director, you will have the wait staff, you're going to have the caregivers and the director of nursing, and potentially a memory care director. And these are the people who are going to help you understand Alzheimer's and dementia. They're going to understand the disease, and they're going to understand how to work with people who are living with Alzheimer's or dementia. The rooms may be smaller. They may or may not have bathrooms. They may have their own bathroom. They may have a kitchenette, or they may not. Most times you won't see a kitchenette in a memory care community, but some offer that. And they're going to have memory boxes right outside their door to help make it easy for those living with Alzheimer's and dementia to recognize their room and their environment. You want to decorate those with happy pictures of family members, maybe of their younger self, so that they can recognize themselves. The room is typically a studio in memory care, but you can hang pictures and even a TV if you choose to. The purpose of not having a TV in a memory care is to get them out of their rooms so that they can socialize and be a part of memory care or Alzheimer's and dementia related activities. I've seen several different types of memory care environments, and all of them are great, and they all have unique different structures, but typically you see them focused around an outdoor area that's secured. Speaking of security, typically memory care is secured so that the residents are safe and they're not wandering outside of their environment without a caregiver or someone to help them as they leave the memory care facility. What you want to look for is how they're served. So in a typical memory care environment, menus might be overwhelming. So if they have pictures on the menu, or if the care staff knows what your loved one likes, say for example, they love fish, but they hate red meat, or vice versa, you'll know what they're being fed. They'll know what to serve your loved one or yourself. A lot of people call us with, hey, my mom just came from a skilled nursing facility. She was used to being fed in her apartment or in her room at the facility, and now she's not getting, her meal tray into her apartment at the assisted living facility. No, she's not going to get a meal tray unless she's sick. As I mentioned early on in this video, she is going to be expected to go into the dining room. Some communities allow you to pick up the food and go back to the apartment. You're allowed to do that. But again, the sole purpose is for you to engage and to be observed by the care staff. We also get calls like, my mom absolutely is not, they're struggling. They're not enjoying it here. They miss their friends. And so there's that time of guilt that the loved ones may face, the son or daughters, the husbands or wives, because they feel guilty. And so they're getting those calls from their loved one from within the assisted living facility saying, I want to go home. And that's very common. But just know that they are getting the care that they need and the oversight that they need. And remember why you chose to move them there to begin with. Give them some time to acclimate. They'll meet new friends. It happens all the time. Another good thing that I like to tell people is in the care plan, we had a really good situation recently where we moved an individual into a memory care community, and they found out what his favorite meal was and what his best part of the day was. And they made sure to serve that for him. And then what he enjoyed doing, who his favorite music artist was, so that they can play that type of music when he arrived. And I highly recommend when you move your loved one in, come during a mealtime, come during lunch, have their apartment ready, unpacked, pictures up so that they can settle in, and have them move in during a mealtime. Most of the time the facilities will partner them up with someone with similar interests so that when they come in and move in, they can acclimate a little bit easier. It's scary to transition to a new home away from home, but it's doable, and 9 times out of 10, these seniors definitely enjoy themselves and they participate. If you're coming from an acute care setting, just know that the care staff is going to continue to give them the medication management. It's just not going to be an acute care setting. The expectation is that they're not bedridden. The expectation is that they're getting out and maneuvering and they're still independent, but still getting the care they need at the same time. They can continue on in the assisted living, getting therapy services. They can get private duty care services as well if they need that extra care. I always tell families transition in with the caregiver if you can, so that they get that extra oversight so they can acclimate faster. I always tell my families, when they come and visit, if you're visiting someone with memory impairment, maybe they're nonverbal, it's okay. Don't ask them questions, but definitely bring pictures or goodies or maybe food or something to help them feel better when you visit them. Same when you visit your loved one who's not in a memory care facility. If they're feeling anxious and they're telling you they want to go home, just listen to them because it is a change for them as well. I like to say, bring goodies, maybe food, have dinner with them or lunch in the dining room because it'll help them acclimate and get used to the food and so on. We've had calls and families tell us, hey, they're not eating. If you're having concerns of that sort, definitely talk to the executive director, talk to the activities director to help encourage them to leave their apartment. That's super important. The larger the facility, the harder it is for them to kind of like maneuver and get to know their way around. But usually there's a buddy system and there's someone to help encourage them to get to know the facility. If you move into a large facility, sometimes there's movie theaters, so encourage them to go and see the movie. There's sometimes where they have card games or they have professional singers or ballroom dancers. There's always an activity going on. Maybe they enjoy bingo or just board games and trivia. There's always something going on, so encourage them to participate. That is all I have for you guys, and I'm happy to help answer any questions, or if you want to get some information on how to decorate a senior living apartment or how to acclimate your loved one, or ideas on how to, potentially get them situated, I'm here to help. But just know it takes over 30 days for anyone to get situated and understand the ins and outs of their new environment. So I'm happy to help. Call North Star Senior Advisors if you have any questions or if you need any resources. The number is below. Thanks so much again, and tune in next time.